Hello, viewers. This is your Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my segment called the Boruto Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I'll try to do my best not to be too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain adult language. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's go to the latest episode of Boruto, episode 101. So this is episode 101 of Boruto. So basically, we see Boruto at the river where he helped. So basically, at the river where he helped Hugo and the others capture all those defected birds that had the curse marks and whatnot, and killing them. So basically, Boruto was frustrated that that the people from the land of the river had took over the whole curse mark situation that was playing this village. So basically, that the people from the land of the river had took over the curse mark situation in the village that Boruto and his teammates was hired to deal with. So basically, the people of the land of the river was took over the whole curse mark situation that was playing this village that Boruto and his teammates were hired to deal with. So basically, the people from the land of the river basically had Jugo, Sarada, and Namine in custody, was trying to figure out to treat their curse box and whatnot. But turns out the people from the land of the river had different plans, for Jugo, had different plans for Wasabi, Namine, and Yugo when it comes to their curse mark. So anyway, Boruto, so basically, Sarada and Michi told Boruto we need to go find Sarada and make sure, we need to go find Sarada and make sure that she's okay. So basically, Boruto decided to go look to Sarada and go look into Sarada and she's still alive. So anyway, so basically we see Sarada, and we see Sarada with the Nimbe in his dog form, trying to make their way back to the village, where the village where Boruto and others were at. But the Nimbe had sensed that but the Nimbe had sent somebody who was following them. So it turns out is Kawin and Sungits. I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Please forgive me. I know that's not the way you're supposed to say his name, but it's kind of difficult for me to pronounce their names properly. So anyway, I'm just going to call him Sungits. So basically, Sungits, the Nimbe sense the presence of Kawin and Sungits, and the Nimbe started to attack Sungits, and Sungits was like, hey, you need to, hey, Sungits was like, we were just minding our own business. Sungits was like, hey, you need to control your beast. We were just minding our business, but it's a fight that you want. Sungits started to fight Sarada and the Nimbe, and basically, and Boruto and others heard the battle, and they went to go heard the sound from the battle between Sungits and Nimbe with the Nimbe and Sarada. Sarada. Sorry. So basically, Boruto and others heard the battle between between Sun gets the Ninbe and Shirada, and basically about time Boruto understood up, Sun gets defeated sorry. So basically about time Boruto understood up, Sun gets defeated the Ninbe, and the Ninbe disappeared and went back to after Sun gets defeated Sarada, the Ninbe disappeared because Sarada was defeated and she was unconscious, and so the Ninbe disappeared, and so basically the Ninbe disappeared and went back to his summoning world and shit like that. So anyway, Boruto's like, what the hell are you guys are doing? So basically, at first, Boruto did not recognize Koen and Sun Gets because they were in hood. But Miki is like, oh, Boruto, this is Sun Gets. But Miki told him, oh, that's Sun Gets and Koen. So basically, Boruto was kind of like, okay then, but still, Boruto was like, what the hell? Why would you attack? Why would you attack Shirada like that? So basically, Sun Gets explained that, her summoning animal attacked me first. So basically, I was defending myself. So basically, like Koen said, is true, but you didn't have to you didn't have to go OBD on the girl like that. So basically, Sun Gets is like, hey, I was defending myself. So basically, Sun Gets and Koen, after they treated Shirada for her wound, Sun Gets and Koen told Boruto and the others why they was out here. They was under orders from the Orochimaru to bring Yugo back, and Boruto explained the whole situation. And so basically, after hearing that from Sun Gets and Koen, that they was under orders to bring Yugo back to Orochimaru. So basically, and Boruto explained the whole situation with Yugo and the whole curse mark outbreak. So basically, after Boruto explained the whole situation with Yugo and the whole curse mark birds and situation, Sun Gets just like, that's one hell of a situation that Yugo got himself into. But still, we're still under orders to bring Yugo back. So basically, we're still on the orders to bring Yugo back to Orochimaru. So period. So basically, Sun Gets say that we don't care about this whole affected curse mark birds and whatnot, meaning to bring Yugo back, because Orochimaru was worried that people might people might try to get Yugo, trying to exploit Yugo's curse mark powers and whatnot. So basically, Sun Gets made it clear that our mission is to get Yugo back, bring him back to Orochimaru. That way nobody can change the power of Yugo's curse mark and whatnot. So anyway, but but we have a situation that's going on in this village that you guys can help with. So basically, Koen said maybe we could help Boruto and others figure out this whole situation with the curse mark and whatnot. The whole curse mark affected bird situation. So basically, Sun Gets was like, alright then, fine. But still, once we help this whole curse fight situation, we'll bring Yugo back to Orochimaru. So anyway, so basically, when evening came, once the evening came, Shirada woke up and told the whole situation turned out that they were attacked by these twins who had these collars that gave curse mark powers and whatnot. And that's when Boruto realized that we saw twins with the river people, with that team of the people from land of the river had. So basically, we saw the trends with the river people. So basically, like so basically those and Sarada told them that they was attacked by these twins, a brother and a sister, who attacked her and her teammates. So basically, they're the ones who affected them with the curse box. So basically Boruto said that the people of the land of the river had a brother and sister who are twins, who helped capture Jugo. So basically, like so they put two together that the people from the land of the river are the ones behind this curse mark situation. So basically, Jugo. Sungets was like so basically we need to go take Jugo by force from the people from the river, and we take Jugo by force. And Korean realized, but Korean said, no, that'd be a bad idea if we take Jugo by force. The bullets that Jugo is being held in could be damaged in the battle. So basically that means erosion. So basically, if we take Jugo by force and damage the people's bullets in the process, Boruto and the others will have to have the least bullets, and therefore Orochimaru will get in trouble for our actions. So basically, some get then fine me to come up with a plan to get those curse mark tricks away from the bullets, and therefore into a safe area. That way they can battle without them words to do any damage towards the people's bullets and whatnot, and it would be easier for them to sneak in and get Jugo and the others away from the river people. So basically, Boruto and others put that plan in motion. So basically, they managed to get the curse mark twins who was gone in Ninmei and in Wasabi, who were affected by curse marks, away from God and them. So basically, it turns out that the head guy of one of the bosses who was in charge of the curse mark told him to go find that ninja girl and make sure she doesn't tell anybody about us. So basically, the curse mark twins went to go find Shirada and went to find Shirada, and Shirada, so they went to go find Shirada and make sure that she kept her mouth shut. So basically, they went into the forest and they started Shirada, and they started to chase after Shirada. But Shirada, he was chasing after Shirada, but turns out it was Shirada in disguise as Shirada. So basically, Shirada was disguised as Shirada and was leading the curse mark twins away from the village. Therefore, Boruto and others can say, Jugo, Ninmei, and Wasabi and Konohama Sensei from the river people. So anyway, while Boruto, so basically Boruto and Sungets went to go say Jugo, and Shirada went to go say Ninmei and Wasabi. So basically, turns out there's a serum that can cure. Turns out that Ninmei and Wasabi told Shirada that the truth that serum right there can cure us of our curse marks, because the twins told us when we had a conversation with the curse mark twins, they told us that serum can cure us of our curse marks. So basically, Shirada gave Wasabi and Namine the serum, and therefore the curse marks started to disappear and whatnot. So basically the serum was killing Wasabi and Namine of the curse marks that the curse mark twins gave them. So anyway, So anyway, meanwhile, the Curse team is still chasing after Sarada, who was disguised as Sarada, and that's when the sister realized that this must be some type of setup, cause they realized that's when the sister of the twin that's when the sister realized that that this vinegar seems different, and then realized that this girl must be leading us in their trap. So basically, the brother went back to the village while the sister chased after Sarada, who's disguised as Sarada. So basically, Sarada led the sister to a location far away from the village where Kareem was at, and they're about to ambush. They figured they gonna ambush the tent, but instead, instead it was just the sister. The brother went back to the village to go see, after realize that this is some type of setup and whatnot. So anyway, so basically, Corinne and Sarada was engaged in fighting the sister, while the brother spotted Sarada with Fabi and Ninde trying to leave, and the brother was engaged in the fight between Sarada, Ninde, and Wasabi. So anyway, one of the river back at the village, one of the river people went into the room where Konohama Sensei was sleeping and tried to kill Konohama Sensei, but turns out Konohama Sensei was not in his room. So basically, Konohama Sensei must have thought these people from the land of the river must have figured out that these people from the land of the river must be the ones behind this whole curse mark situation. So basically, a person from the river people, was trying to kill Konohama Sensei in his room while Konohama slept, but Konohama Sensei was not in the room. So basically, Konohama Sensei must have caught wind that the river people must be the ones behind this curse mark situation, and he must have went to go. So basically, Konohama Sensei must have either hide somewhere, or he probably went to go back to the village to go get some help. Went back to the hidden leafers to go get some help. So basically, Konohama Sensei must figure out that that the river people must be behind this whole curse box situation, and he must have he went back to the village, back to the hidden leafers to go get some help, or he's hiding somewhere, or he must be hiding somewhere. So basically, Sungit and Boruto spotted Mr. Tatsuki, who's helping the river people, and Boruto and Sungit told him that the river people are the ones behind this whole curse mark, about this whole curse mark situation. So basically, we need your help to help take them down and feed Yugo. So basically, Mr. Taxi helps Sungit and Boruto to try to free Yugo. So basically, Mr. Taxi led them where Yugo was being held at, and Boruto, while Boruto and Sungit was trying to free Yugo, Mr. Taxi ejected Boruto, and Sungit was some type of tranquilizer that rendered Boruto and Sungit temporarily paralyzed. It turns out that So basically, it turns out that Mr. Taxi is the one behind the river people, who's the true boss of the river people, who's doing the research about the curse rock. But turns out that Mr. Taxi is the one. He's been around this whole curse mark outbreak this whole time. So basically, turns out that Mr. Taxi is the true boss behind this whole curse mark outbreak. So basically, Mr. Taxi builds himself to Boruto and subjects that I'm the one who's behind the curse mark outbreak. I'm the one who gave those twins the ability of the curse box. So basically, turns out that Mr. Taxi is the mastermind behind this whole curse box situation. That affected the birds and all the people in the village and whatnot. So basically, while Mr. Taxi was, the episode ended with Mr. Taxi building himself to be the true bad guy and mastermind with this whole curse box outbreak. So basically, the episode ended with Mr. Taxi building himself to subjects and Boruto that I'm the true mastermind with this whole curse mark outbreak, while Wasabi nominate and Shirada, deal with the curse mark photo, and Corinne and Shirada dealing with the curse mark sister. So basically, the episode ended with Shirada and her team dealing with the curse mark photo, and Shirada and Corinne dealing with the curse mark sister, and this is how the episode ended. So anyway, this episode was not bad. This was not a bad episode. So basically, honestly, this episode was kind of bad. It should have been better for the 100 episode of Boruto that we got last week. But otherwise, this episode was not bad. This episode should have been the 100 episodes, instead of the 100 episode of Boruto we got last week. But otherwise, this was a good episode. So anyway, what do you guys think about this 101 episode of Boruto? Was it good? Was it okay? Or was it just, nah? Please let me know with the comments below this podcast. Anyway, this is Cynthia Marco from Screen Review signing off. 1.